Last year, I was in the market for a new headset, and as you can probably tell by the title of this video, or if you've seen the initial review, I decided to go with the Steelseries Arctis Nova Pro wireless headset. Now, after having the headset for more than a year, I figured some of you might be interested in an update to see if my thoughts about the headset have changed. So, join me as we once again look at the Arctis Nova Pro wireless to see, is it still worth it? If you haven't seen my initial video, I would obviously recommend you go watch it if you want a more in-depth look at how I chose this headset, as well as some of the features of the headset itself. I've included a link at the top of the description. However, I am also going to give a really quick refresher here as well. I chose the Arctis Nova Pro Wireless as my new headset as it fit the criteria I was searching for, mainly the fact that it worked with both PC and Xbox, and was wireless. Obviously. While the price was a bit steep at $350, I did have some gift cards that I used to lower the price to $235. Yes, this is the correct price, as many in the comments of the initial video pointed out I did the math wrong. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at math, it was never my intention to be misleading. But anyways, after using it, I noted that I really enjoyed some of the features like the swappable batteries, the DAC, not the dock as I was mistakenly calling it in the first video, as well as the ability to connect to two devices at once with Bluetooth and the game audio. However, there were a few negatives I found with the headset, specifically the price being too high, as well as the Bluetooth connectivity and the stock earpads being a little too thin and uncomfortable for the price point. All in all, I came to the conclusion that I was really enjoying the headset and wasn't regretting the purchase. Now quickly before I get into the update, I just wanted to thank everyone watching this video. If you enjoy it, please leave a like so it can spread and reach a wider audience and help others. If you own this headset or are coming back from the previous video, let me know your thoughts on the headset in the comments below. Finally, if you're enjoying the content, consider subscribing. I'd love to have your support on my YouTube journey. So after a year, am I still enjoying the Steelseries Arctis Nova Pro? Yes I am. I use these headphones for like 10 hours a day between work and gaming, so it's safe to say I've had a lot of time to use them and get used to them. I still find them to be comfortable, and I'm still finding that I enjoy using them every day. However, there are a few more quirks that I've discovered that, while not deal-breaking, can add a bit of minor annoyance. First, let me go over some stuff that I either forgot or didn't mention in the first review because I still hadn't discovered it. First things first, let me do a freaking mic test. I don't know why I neglected to do this in the first video, but better late than never, right? I'm recording this audio right now on the HyperX Quadcast microphone, so let's compare the two, shall we? This is a test of the Steelseries Arctis Nova Pro wireless built-in microphone. Listening to that back right now? Definitely not the greatest microphone you could use. So, yeah. That was recorded in Audacity, with the mic volume turned up to 100. The mic volume on the DAC itself was also turned up to 10, which is insane because I think it still sounded pretty quiet. While this isn't probably the worst mic quality I've ever heard, for being the mic on a $350 headset, that's pretty bad. I've never had anyone complain about it when I'm playing games with my friends, but it's disappointing to say the least. It really just sounds like they threw some filters on to try and block out some noise, but they only succeeded in turning down the volume and the quality of the mic itself. It sounds crunchy, if that makes sense. I'm really sorry for not including this in the original video. It was quite a fumble on my part, as the audio quality of the mic itself certainly is lacking, and it could definitely be seen as a negative for some people. Another thing I'd like to mention is some more information about the DAC and the audio. Firstly, someone mentioned in the comments that you're able to change the DAC display to sync up to some specific games that allow integration. This allows you to utilize the DAC screen as a sort of auxiliary display to show important in-game info like health, kills, shields, etc. You're also able to do this with some apps as well, like Discord, or you can even use it as a system monitor to show real-time system info about your PC like GPU temps, utilization, CPU clock speed, and more. While maybe not a nail in the coffin reason to buy the headset, it is cool to be able to use the DAC for something other than just the normal screen showing the volume. Next, I'll mention the ability to change the audio in the SteelSeries app. PC app, not a mobile app. Although for some other headsets they do have a mobile app. I don't know why not for this one, but whatever. While I briefly mentioned this in the initial video, I didn't really get too into it. In the SteelSeries app, you're able to go in and open the headset sound profile. Here you're able to change the EQ of the headset, changing every frequency to what is best for you. There are also a lot of presets in the app already for games like GTA 5, Warzone, Minecraft, Overwatch 2, etc. While there's not a huge range of games, that's where the internet comes in handy. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube channels that make whole videos about the best EQ settings for specific games, for specific headsets, which is really awesome and helpful. You can even save multiple different configurations in the app and switch to them whenever you want, which is also quite handy. Additionally, you're able to change the EQ settings on the DAC itself. Or if you're playing on a console and it's too far away and you're too lazy to get up, you can also change it from the headset itself. Simply holding down the wheel on the left side of the headset brings up the settings menu. From here, you can navigate to audio options and change the equalizer from wherever you're sitting. It's a pretty neat feature in my opinion. In the Steelseries app, or the DAC if you're on the console, you're also able to change the mic volume, the gain, and the mic side tone. If you're wondering what side tone is, it just enables you to hear your own voice in the headset so you can tell how loud you're talking. In the audio options, there's also ANC settings. And let's talk about the ANC while we're at it, because I didn't really go over it in detail in the initial video. The ANC, or active noise cancelling, on this headset works pretty well in my opinion. While it's not a feature I really find myself using often, I have been trying it out in anticipation for this video. I found that it's handy in tuning out kind of droning noises that can be annoying. For example, if it's hot out and you got a few fans going on, or if one of your neighbors starts cutting their grass outside a couple doors down, the ANC works pretty well to cut those noises out. It's not going to block any super loud noises, but smaller noises will be blocked out reasonably well. While I unfortunately am unable to compare it to the ANC of any other headsets, I would wager that unless you're super picky about your ANC, this should probably be enough to please most people. That's pretty much it. Besides some other smaller features like the headset auto reconnecting after swapping batteries, I think that's probably most of the major things I really wanted to address in this update. Now at the beginning, I did say that there were a few quirks that I've run into over the past year plus of owning this headset. The first thing that I want to address involves the Bluetooth connection. I think I talked about this in the initial video as well. When connected to the Bluetooth on my phone, the volume setting of this headset is quite weird. There's one spot on the volume settings where it seems like the volume is just too quiet, but then when you go to the next setting up, it stays the same. Okay, no problem. Just go to the next setting, and it's just a bit too loud. While it's not a destroy your eardrums loud, it's certainly quite annoying because the perfect volume setting just seemingly doesn't exist. I don't know if this is a Samsung or a SteelSeries issue, but if anyone has a fix for this, please let me know in the comments. I'm kind of leaning a bit more towards a Samsung issue because I feel like it happens on my earbuds as well. The Bluetooth connection can also still be a little iffy at times. Sometimes when I connect the headphones via Bluetooth and start listening, it will be fine for a little bit, but then the connection seems to kind of bug out. The music stops and becomes distorted for a millisecond, etc, etc. Luckily, I've found this can be alleviated by either restarting Spotify, disconnecting the headphones, then reconnecting, or if none of those work, then restarting the phone itself usually fixes the problem as well. This is another one where I'm not 100% sure if it comes down to the headset, because it seems like it also might be more of a phone connection issue since restarting it or the app seems to fix it. Finally, the last thing I've run into is semi-major? Is that even a phrase? I haven't had this happen a lot. Probably only a handful of times in the thousands of hours I've used the headset, but it is very inconvenient, and that is that the headset disconnects from the DAC and loses audio. Sometimes it's accompanied by a loud glitching sound, but other times there's no indication at all that the sound is cut out until you realize it's happened. Now, to the credit of the headset, a lot of the times when this happens, it's able to reconnect to the DAC and restore audio functions relatively quickly. However, sometimes you do have to manually end up turning the headset off, then back on. I actually had this happen during a meeting once, which sort of gave me a bit of anxiety and led to me using it wired in future important meetings just in case. I'm not sure how common this problem is, or if it's in some way related to some interference in the signal from the headset, but I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker as it's not a frequent issue that happens. You're able to fix it quite easily. However, it's definitely worth mentioning. So, after a year, how has the Arctis Nova Pro Wireless treated me? It's been a pretty good, relatively non-toxic year. They still feel relatively sturdy, and nothing on them seems worn out or needing replacement so far. There was also one incident where I went to take them off after using them, and I dropped them. From my head all the way to the ground, and for reference, I am about 6'2", and it was right onto solid wood floor. Let me tell you, I stood there in shock for a second, and I was worried that they would be broken, but picking them up, they were completely fine, not even a scratch on them. I know some people said in the comments of the initial video that they looked a little weak and the plastic seemed cheap, but so far they've held up really well to everything, including the aforementioned 6-foot drop. Additionally, the batteries still seem to last just as long as they did when I got them, and all the features still work pretty flawlessly. So, is the Arctis Nova Pro Wireless still worth it after a year? In my opinion, it's still absolutely worth the price I paid. However, I stand by my philosophy that they're still quite expensive at the normal price of $350. If you're interested in this headset and considering purchasing it, I would definitely recommend waiting until there's a major sale going on. Additionally, since I first made the initial video, they've also released a version of the headset in white, if that's more your style. I know some people do prefer to have a white setup as opposed to a black setup, so I guess they're just trying to please both crowds. And if we've reached the end of this update video, once again I'd like to thank everyone who watched the first video. All the views, engagement, and the comments were so nice to see, and it was really heartwarming to hear all the nice things people had to say about the video. Whether you're a returning viewer or a new viewer, consider dropping a like and subscribing, and definitely leave a comment with your thoughts on the headset. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.